unanswered questions. But we're not really much further. We know his dad was out searching today and stuff. 393 people, 96 want to talk about Jay. 120 want to do another case. So we're waiting for Smiley Face to talk about Jay, Crying Face to go on to another case. I need something to wipe that screen. Okay. I spoke for Jay, I'm invested. Okay, we can talk about Jay, but I would need to come offline and come back on. And then obviously I could go on to another case afterwards. So yeah, so I'm sorry, wrong face. I've got the wrong face today, to be fair. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, Miss Baguette. Yeah, so I don't really know what to do. Most people want me to talk about Jay, don't they? I just don't want to do it to death with facts that we don't have, because right now we don't have a lot of new facts. So it's just kind of innuendo and all the kind of things we don't know in this case. So do you think the mafia's got him? No, honestly not. I think to think the mafia's got him is really a crazy kind of thought. What I think I'm going to do, because what I want to do, is I'm going to do the other case first. And if people want to come back for Jay's case, I will talk about it at 11 o'clock. But I've been prepping and researching this case all day long, and it has so many common themes with Jay's case, and it gets awareness for this family as well. Why ask us then? I asked you, and then I made a descriptive thing. You don't even follow me, Mama Boy, so you don't really get you know what I mean? You're not one of my regular people, so you don't have to be here. You're someone who's a Karen who just moans about everything. I've just offered to do 2 cases instead of 1 and make everyone happy, and you're still moaning. I could be laying in bed having a hot chocolate, and I'm here. Night, everyone. I know, literally, I was on less than 130 followers last week. It's shot up, but I do get worried because I think if people are just following me for cases like Jay's that are so kind of current and just so much madness going on, hey Teagues, it worries me that they're not here for the true crime and stuff. So I think I'm just gonna have so many issues afterwards. Yeah, if I had massive updates in Jay's case, I of course would literally do that first, but I'm literally going to be reiterating stuff I told you this morning. And you know, right now the latest we heard, I've done a video today, this evening. Thank you, Angel. I've done an update video with just where the recent search is, where police are looking. Yeah, so I'll be doing that at 11 o'clock. Thanks, Debs. I hope a lot of people have, do you know where he is? What, me? Know where Jay is? I hope the people that actually really have got invested in true crime now because of Jay's case will still be here afterwards to learn about other cases as well. Thank you, Sarah, for subscribing. Thank you so much. You know, hey Debs, are you okay? I just think, you know, as well as Jay's missing and he's had this massive media attention, everyone's invested in it. I wish everyone was just as invested in some of the cases that get no covering. I really do. It does make me a little bit sad. Just be spoken about. I love it when it's a good, you know, when it's a good, when it changes your words. You know, if you look at Dylan Duffy, who went missing in Oldham this week, he's a pretty similar age to Jay, and he's literally hardly anyone knows who he is. And I know I've asked quite a few people to repost my video on my profile, and loads of people have. It's nearly at 20k views. But it's you know, he's in the UK. His mum doesn't know where he is. He said he was going to work and he's just kind of gone missing. And, you know, he took with him a blanket. He's turned off his phone. It looks to me like he's having some kind of mental health crisis. And obviously we are in Men's Mental Health Week, month. So I just wish more people would share it. Not just my videos, but any videos about him. Why do some cases get more coverage more than others? Natalie, it does come down to a lot of different things. It comes down to how... if someone's very lower class, they don't get covered as much. If somebody is black, they don't get covered as much. That's just a fact. If somebody isn't pure white, it won't get covered as much. Children go missing who are 13 and from the black community and no one covers them. I try to cover as many as I can, like, and as soon as people let me know, I will cover them. I've covered cases recently where a black child's been missing, and they've been missing like 2.5 months, 3 months, and no one knows. And for me, that's absolutely devastating that can happen. It's a child, a young child. It just depends. Some cases just catch the public's imagination. Are they real cases, Mr. Chocolate? Where are they from? Like Nicola Bully, I've never seen online a case go like that. And I was a big part of it, you know what I mean? I was reporting on it all the time. I'm obsessed with that case. I still am to this day. And then we have the case, Jay has gone absolutely mental. A child. I think the girl child I think she was found because they just took down all the posts and her name was never even out there. How outrageous, it was on TV. Can you WhatsApp me the name so I can remember when I come off? Fiona Holm, I haven't done her recently. I think Jay's case has a lot of interesting factors. So there's a lot of things that we can't get our head around. It's abroad. People are comparing it to other cases. We've got the drug element. People are talking about the mafia. Then we have like the fact that he may have been a drugs mule. So there's loads of different factors that keep everyone hooked. And unfortunately, now that we have social media, you can go back through people's social media. You can pull out everything they've ever said, who they hang around with, who they talk to. And so we can just fuel this fire constantly. Noah Donahoe, that case, I've covered it before. I will cover it again soon. I'm waiting for his mum to come on my channel. Me and Fiona are good friends, but she can't do it to this inquest out of the way in October because there's going to be some stuff coming out that she can't talk about right now. Justice for Noah, I literally wish I could solve that case so much. He's blatantly B. You can send me a screenshot on Hayley Comet on Instagram. Comet Crime. People love a conspiracy theory. Honestly, they do. Kaz, I'm sorry for your loss, Kaz. I've missed your comment, but I'm really sorry. I actually eat my own hair. Sorry. Oh, my own hair then. Just accepted it. Oh, for God's sake.
How does it?
Sorry guys, I tried to turn off my invites. Noah Donahoe is a 14-year-old boy from Ireland, from Belfast, who went riding out on his bike to go meet his friends, and he was seen on different CCTV cameras going in the wrong direction of where he was supposed to be going. And on the last CCTV camera, he was riding his bike, but all of his clothes were gone. He was naked on his bike. He then went missing for like 3 days, I think it was, and then his body was found dead inside of a storm drain. A storm drain that it would have taken 2 full-grown men to lift, but yet the Gardaí said that he climbed it in himself and purposely died, unalived himself. But there was a lot of tensions in that area, and it believed he went by accident into a wrong part of town. There's also rumours that he was injected with something like heroin, and that was causing him to take all his clothes off. And his mum, Fiona, is literally my absolute hero in the true crime world, because she has fought so desperately for answers. You can go and watch James English, the podcast with Fiona, and it will literally break your heart 19,000 times, because this is a woman who had one child, who she put everything into, who she absolutely adored, had the best bond with, and she screamed for people to listen to her. And she has campaigned, she has stood outside Parliament in Ireland with a megaphone. She has demanded PSNI. She has literally screamed, shouted, cried, just begged for people to listen, for someone to believe that her son's been murdered. Thank you, Nat. I will cover that case maybe one day this week, like from start to finish, because there's so much in it. He was a lovely wee boy. He lived beside me. Oh, Kelly. Yeah, he was a good kid. Didn't left his mum goodbye letter with Rory. Oh, I know. Yeah, I remember he left his mum a message saying he wasn't coping and stuff. Novel Island happened. Adele, thank you for subscribing. Oh, you already subscribed, but thank you for resubscribing. So Dylan Duffy, he left his house. I'll put a picture of him actually, because people may recognise him. I've covered Jeanette Tate before because actually it's quite close to me. It's one of the longest unsolved cases in my area. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, so this is Dylan Duffy. He literally left his mum's house, left her a note, said he was going to work. His phone last pinged at Manchester Piccadilly, but he was seen on CCTV at London Euston Station before his phone was turned off. He literally no one's heard from him, no one's seen him, and he took with him a black backpack, and he took with him a character The Simpsons blanket, and he's just gone. And he went missing from Oldham in Manchester, and he's been missing since Tuesday. And I know for his parents, it must be like, well, why is Jay getting all this coverage? Why doesn't no one care about my son? And, they don't mean that in a bad way, but you'd feel the same, wouldn't you? Stephanie Bonner, she's a hero as well. Reece Bonner, what happened to him was absolutely devastating. From what I believe, Tony, I believe the note said something like he wasn't coping at the moment. I don't think police will put out every single thing in the letter. You'd think so, Izzy, wouldn't you? But look at Andrew Gosden. They got him the last shot of him at King Station and never seen again. Ever. Do you know what I mean? So, Reece Bonner is absolutely tragic, man. I talked about it a little bit yesterday and said this one case that probably his mum's words haunt me in my sleep. Just her stood outside Parliament shouting, "Justice for Reece!" Just sometimes it plays in my head because literally the desperation on his mum to, and having Donna Drummond walking around still, even though she's hurt several teenage boys now, is absolutely gutting. Catherine Maguire. I don't know that case, I don't think. His mum dropped him to Asda, yeah. He was supposed to go to work, but he didn't go to work. He literally carried on to the station. Yeah, I think Andrew Gosden is alive, personally. Thoughts on Jack Sullivan? Oh, Nadia, I hate to say it, but part of me thinks he fell into the water. Must be tough for you doing this. I actually feel better about doing it than not doing it. This is Jack. Jack's missing from... I definitely think Andrew Gosden is alive. I think there's been signs of him being alive for some time. Is it Frozen? Yeah, this is Jack O'Sullivan. He's been missing for just over 100 days now. On St David's Day, he went to a party, never made it home. I'm back now. Oh yeah, I always freeze when changing a photo. Yeah, so he's been missing since May the 2nd. He went to a party, he was walking home around 3 a.m. and he never made it home. He was last seen, do you have a criminal background? Was it your job before? I have a criminology degree and I've worked in prisons and stuff like that. Then I went on to have children, so I didn't do a lot with it, and then come onto the app and started using it. March 2nd, yeah. Yeah. I think the last pictures on CCTV of Jack were walking over the bridge along the canal path. And if you look into that canal, it is absolutely filthy water. You cannot see to the bottom. And I can't see anywhere else he would have gone. I don't see any signs that he was taken. Did I? Sorry. I didn't see many cars driving by. All they're waiting for is basically to have Katrina. I'm sure I've covered her case, Becky. I recognise that name really badly. Do you think Jack needs more coverage? Yeah. Do you think he was pushed? I don't know, Observer. If you've watched my videos, you'll see I've got a thing about somebody is pushing people into bodies of water in this country because, around the Nicola Bulley period, there was 300 people in the UK ended up in water who had just gone out to their normal job, didn't seem depressed, just dropped off their kids, and all ended up in canals, rivers, and there's something definitely there. It followed a certain path, like someone who works in trucks, like someone who does deliveries and stuff. And we know that like serial killers like Robert Black, he actually abducted people in England, Scotland, and Wales. He moved around and he did it. So I think it's looking at Gaynor Lord, who went missing at the end of last year. And she was at work. She was like quite a lovely lady, had grandchildren, children. She was literally at work and at the gin counter at a posh department store. The next minute she's running through town, then she's taken off her coat, then she's put it on again, then she's seen acting really strangely by the side of the river, doing yoga positions. Then she's looking at her phone constantly like she's going to meet someone, and then she ends up being found about a week later floating in that river next to her coat. And she just didn't fit the profile at all of women. Don't tend to unalive themselves in water. They tend to take a different route than men. So men, it's kind of by the neck, and also by things like water, bridges, stuff like that. Women, it tends to be ODs on different kind of alcohol's always involved. It's much different. And for most women, because of the way we are as mothers, we dread how our families are going to find us. We really think that through. So we kind of think about, how's my mum going to view my body? How's my kids going to, we do think those things. So for so many women to happen like that, I just don't see them doing that purposely. Andrew Gosden is one of the most famous missing people's cases in the Manchester Pusher in the UK. He was 14 years of age. He was smart, went to public school. He was, well-to-do family, quite religious. And he hid in the park while his parents went off, went home, took off his school uniform, got into normal clothes, headed to King's Cross Station, bought a one-way ticket to London. The ticket teller said to him, for an extra £1.50, you can get a return ticket. He said, no, I'm not going to need a return ticket. Was seen on camera at King's Cross Station, never seen again. And it's been over 10 years now. No, so I'm going to go on to a different case tonight, right, guys? I'm going to start a case because obviously you can all keep asking about cases over and over again, and I can answer them all. But most of the cases you're asking me about, I have absolutely covered, like Carl Vaughan, and I will cover again. Like the important cases, I will cover again and again until we get some kind of resolution. But I'm going to move on to a case I'm covering about a boy in not in this country, and it is very similar to the case of Jay. And then if people want to talk about Jay, I will come back off, turn off my gifts and come back on and talk about it because it is a current case happening right now. And people just moan at me all day long, and do it that way. Coy McKeegan did it about a week ago. Why are people sending me such strange messages? I just don't have time to read. So I'm not talking about Jay's case until after I turn my gifts off, so I'm doing this other case first because I know a lot of you follow me purely for the Jay case, but a lot of people follow me for different true crime cases every night, and I have to think about everyone. And I honestly don't have a lot to update people on. I've done a video about an hour and a half ago with all the updates from today on Jay, if people want to go and watch it. And we will talk about it later if people want to. But I'm just literally loading my notes quickly. Always thank you guys. I know who my real ones are. Thank you for the heart meeting that, guys. Thank you very much. So love you guys. So we're going to talk about the case of 20-year-old Ryan Shukta, who vanished on his way home from a party. Now, he was actually, this is a Canadian case, sorry, I said American earlier. He actually disappeared from a place called Sun Peaks, which is a ski resort that he was working at just during the season. So he would literally live at home with his parents, and this was the first time he'd ever done it. Some of his friends had done it a couple of times before. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Amy. And it was a good way of making some extra money, and he loved the slopes, so it was like perfect. He got to go there, work on the slopes for a bit, and then have evenings off. He would do some like ski instructing during the day. And for someone who's 20 years of age and loves like skiing, surfing, all of that, it was like perfect for him to do. Now, let me have a look. So we're getting into who he was first of all. So Ryan Shukta was born on March the 17th, 1997 to his parents, Heather and Scott. Now, throughout the years, he would become a tall, skinny boy but very handsome, very popular with the girls. Always had a bit of a surfer vibe to him. Really laid back. His mum said like it was impossible to get him into an argument because he just didn't want to fight. He was a lover, not a fighter. And he would kind of say even to his mum when she was mad at him, like, Mum, I'm going to go upstairs for half an hour and I'll come back down and we'll talk about this. And she'd be like, you are so frustrating because you're late home and I just want to tell you off. And he'd be like, let's just chill. So, and I can imagine that literally. I could just imagine Tegan doing the same thing to me and just being like, not today. His mum Heather described him as a very well-behaved child who loved dinosaurs, and dinosaurs will play into this case in a bit, and I know you probably think I'm mad, but it's one of the ways they used to find him. And he was their first child, and she said she was just absolutely so lucky at how easygoing he was. Like, he was such an easygoing child that she decided to have other children off the back of how good he was as a kid. And she said right up to the day he went missing, he was absolutely like that. Kayla, I talked about Richard Locker the other day. Thank you, Polly Price. I have done a video for him before and I will do another one. And I've actually sent some people down in Plymouth with missing person flyers of Richard Locker. He's missing from my hometown. Thank you, Polly. Thank you, Rachel. So I will be talking more about him as well. It's been 5 months for Richard Locker and he's still not been found. So Ryan was the eldest of 3 children with 2 other siblings, his sister Jordan, who was 3 years younger, and his sister Juliana, who was 8 years younger than Ryan. Now, the Schuchter family originally lived in Edmonton in Alberta, but would move to Beaumont, Alberta, when Ryan was younger. Now, Beaumont at the time was a small, tight-knit community, and Ryan instantly made loads of different friends. Thank you for the heart, these guys, and thank you for the gifts. He made loads of forever friends there, and they just spent loads of time together. They were always together, and they would literally, even after high school, spend loads and loads of time together. Very kind people in this stream. Jessica, my community is amazing and they're so lovely, and we don't have any fighting here, no arguments, no nastiness. People will just get blocked straight away if they're picking on another member of the chat because I won't have it in here. We try to weedle out all the good, kind people with the loads of compassion, because that's what you need to kind of be in this community. He was in Beaumont in Alberta. Now, it was, like I said, it was a small, tight-knit community, so like everybody kind of went to this one high school and everyone was really good friends, and even after high school, like, he kept his friends. And his friendship group was mixed of boys and girls, and everyone kind of loved Ryan. And he was like the peacemaker. Like, he wasn't so much the joker in the group, he was quite quiet at times, but he would always kind of get people back together, make phone calls and be like, guys, come on, make up, it's affecting all of us. And thank you, Mildog, for subscribing. I haven't done the Beaumont case yet though, but I will, the Beaumont children. So the family at home, Ryan, his 2 sisters, his mum and dad, they were a big, like, active family. They were into playing sports, going fishing, going hunting in the mountains, like camping. They just loved it all. Thank you, Katie. They love spending time. Jessica, thank you, Katie. Whoa, thanks, guys. Look out in the chat for Ella bigging you up. Love you, Ella. Yeah, so they just did loads of really good things together. And Ryan's dad would even coach all of the kids' sports teams. So even if it was like the girls, the boys, he was doing like the soccer teams. It says they also did the their drum lessons, like everything, like what's it called, the colour guard in America, like stuff like that. All of that they would do. Oh, thank you, Mildog. That means the world to me. Now, Ryan at school was a great student, but he wasn't completely sure what he wanted to do when he left school. I'm sure a lot of people feel like that. He knew he wanted to do something. Hayley's life. Hi, Moondog. Did you mean to tell us on here? Moondog, Hayley's life. I was really confused then. Oh no, she's not. I think Moondog just woke up and stumbled into the room. So he was a great student. I was like, Moondog, that's the obvious. This case, we're going into 2018 when he disappeared. So once he graduated from high school, he decided to work as an apprentice in the construction for a year. And he just told his mum, like, I just want to do something outside. I want to use my hands. I want to be outside. I don't want to be in an office, but I don't kind of know exactly where I'm going. Yeah, Gwen, if you go to my link tree on my profile, it's got all of my socials. You all right, kid? What are you doing? Don't go to bed too late, please. You're at PGR in the morning. You need a good night's sleep. Don't be fortnighting all night.
What?
Don't be on Fortnite all night. 1 second, guys. Little one's in the sack drawer. Love you.
Love you.
Yeah. So he didn't know what he wanted to do for school, after school. So he literally said, I'm going to work in construction. It's good money. I'm going to save it up. She's like got working. She's always grumpy when she does it as well. One day I'm just going to empty out the snack drawer. So it was a perfect opportunity to do that, to just work on the construction site, earn some money. But then one of his friends called and said, look, I'm going out west and I'm going to actually work on a kind of ski resort. And he was like, that is going to be absolutely amazing. And that's something I definitely want to do. Thank you, that mum. So in December of 2017, Ryan, along with his best friend James, made the move to Sun Peak Resort in BC, in British Columbia, to live and work. Now, Sun Peaks is about 45 minutes away from Columbus, which is only... Oh, thank you, Katie Adele, for sending the subscription. She sent it to Natasha Parker. If any of the subs or anyone who's been gifted a sub contacts one of the mods, they'll let you into the crime Discord if you want to come in. It's a really cool place. It's not just crime. There's loads of different folders in there. Chronic health, send parents, all the different stuff in there. Podcast, books, movies, all of that. So yeah, if you want to come in, please do. And thank you, Adele, so much. So yeah, Sun Peaks is 4,270 acres of skiable terrains across 3 mountain peaks. And it's Canada's second largest ski area. It's very popular place with tourists. There are constantly people coming in and out of the area. But as far as residents go, people who actually live there, there are 600 people that live there full time all year round. Now, this was a really exciting opportunity for Ryan and his parents. Thank you, Rachel True. His parents were really excited for him. They kind of realised that construction wasn't what their son wanted to do. They knew... got you views, but what? Yeah, they kind of knew that he wasn't wanting to do construction full time, and he's got this opportunity to work away during the season. It's skiing. He loved he loved boarding on. What is it called? What is the word I'm looking for? When you get boarding on snow with a big board. Why can't I think of the word? Why does my brain fog always set in with words? Snowboarding. That's so obvious. What would happen when you board on snow and you were like snowboarding? Oh God, me and Moondale need to spend some time together in a dark room. Thank you, Claire, for subscribing. Oh God, thank you. Thank you, Slim Spire. Jesus Christ. What's that thing called when you go skiing on skis? Yeah, so his parents were really made up for him. They knew it was quite a way away from where they live, but they're like, he's 20 years of age and he's going to, find himself. So they were really supportive of him doing it, really supportive. Now, he moved into a house with other staff on this resort, including his friend James, who had moved there a few months before he did, but obviously travelled back he was at home seeing his parents and travelled back down with him to work there. The other people living there was Kristen, a girl who was working on ski slopes, and her boyfriend Chris, and a few others that have not really been named. Thank you, the crazy lady. Now, as James and Ryan knew each other from previous to the move to Sun Peaks, they often ran in circles other than their different roommates. So they kind of... you can imagine what it's like, can't you? You live in a group house with about 6 of you, but 2 of you have been frozen water surfing. Did I say that? No, I didn't say that, did I? They kind of grouped together, them two. And Lorraine, thank you for sending a subscription. Thank you guys, everyone, for subscribing tonight. There's Boggy. Was it Bogey? No, it's Boggy, isn't it? Sorry. You've got a subscription from Lorraine. So thank you, Lorraine. Yeah. So the 2 of them would stay together and do everything together, go out on the slopes together, go to parties together. And they kind of didn't get to know the other 4 that well because they were really close. Is it not Bogey? Oh, Lorraine, you sent another one. Lorraine, you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. To Nikki Moo. Thank you, Lorraine. Nikki Moo, you have a sub. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lou. So yeah, they literally just hung out together and they kind of... Pocky. Thanks, Gemma. Today's just been a mad one. That's why I just couldn't go straight into the J case where people are like, my screenshot, my screenshot, my screenshot. And I just like want to get off the world. I just can't. So they would actually go snowboarding, board snowing, on the hills early in the morning, way before their shift, before all the crowds hit. So they would get out there, do some like snowboarding, do a little bit of skiing. I don't know who your name is, user, so I don't know why you've been blocked, but I imagine if my mods have blocked you, it's for a good reason. I have had coffee. I think it's sometimes when I have a little break in the evening and I'm just like chilling with the kids and it's all a bit silly. This is the longest story ever. Let me help you out of the room then, so you don't have to listen to it. What do you want me to do? Speed talk through someone's case? Yeah. So, why did it just... It came up with... Oh, who's that? Oh, no, sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you, I don't know yet. So, yes, that's what they would do. So that's the only time they kind of had access to the slopes, was first thing in the morning or last thing at night, and then they would do their sessions in the day. Couch detectives. It's supposed to be sofa detectives, you bloody idiot. I'm just one person, so I'm just sat on a sofa. Couch detective. Yeah, so this is the first year that Ryan would spend a Christmas away from his family. He chose to stay at Sun Peaks and instead of travelling home, because so many people would go home and not be there, like not holidaying during that kind of Christmas time. He thought, I'm going to get loads of time in now on the slopes, so he decided to stay there. Now, what's really heartbreaking is if he had made the trip home to spend time with his family like they were desperate for him to do, he wouldn't have gone missing. But unfortunately, he would stay behind and his family would not only not get to spend Christmas with him, but they would never see him again. Thank you, Claire the Care Bear. I love Care Bears. Are you actually called Care Bear? Oh, I love Care Bears, Claire. My whole bed is Care Bear. I'm literally like a 39-year-old virgin with my bed. So, yeah. Now, so the last time his parents would ever see their son in person would be December the 1st. So he missed the whole of Christmas period and he wasn't supposed to go back until the next break, which is the spring break. And he would go missing on February the 16th of 2018. So he would never get to see his family again. Mr. Chocolate, you here? Mr. Chocolate's back in the building now, broski. I don't know if he's here right now, but he has been in the live and stuff and he is modding. He gets bored of my crime lives. What would my care name be? Fuck off bear, probably. So we're going to do the timeline of the day that he disappeared. So it was a day like any other, and Ryan had worked the full shift at the ski resort until 7 p.m. He had plans with his roommate James, Christian and Chris and other friends for the evening. So before going home, he stopped at a bank, took out some money for drinks that evening, and he helped out a friend who was sick by driving him to the actual Inspector Bear, I like that. To the pharmacy to pick up some medicine. So he dropped his sick friend home with the medicine and then he came home early to get ready. They had a few beers, they catched a ride to the upper village where all the action happened. So there was right away from the ski kind of place, there was this little area that had taverns, bars, takeaways and stuff like that, and that's where they headed to. Hey Melanie, Swear Bear, I like that. I've actually got a Swear Bear mug that one of my mods got me and it's got CUNT bear, fuck off bear, fuck you bear, CUNT tits bear and all that. It's just it's really cute. But I have to not use it around Tori because she's starting to break down words. So I'm just she's fuck up. There's signs all in my hometown. My daughter's called Tori and she's only little, she's 5. And there's loads of signs all over saying fuck the Tories. And she's like, oh, that says my name. And then she goes to read it and I'm like, stop reading it. Do you know what I mean? I don't want her to say fuck the Tories. I'm going to teach her fuck the police first. I'm not. So yeah, so he gets ready and they go to a bar called Massa's Bar and Grill, and the group went to Bottoms, a popular local bar, for a silent disco. There were no issues for the evening. By all accounts, they had a great time, and once they'd finished up at the bar, they headed to the lower village back to staffing quarters located on Burfield Drive, where the party continued with a small group of them. Now, it's a bit of a house party. They're all drinking. She's 5. We're not quite sure. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Shine Star. We're not sure exactly how many people are at that party, but we believe there's about 10. You've been tagged by your friend. What friend? And what CCTV? I'm really confused. I haven't got any friends. There is alcohol at the party and they all drink. but they also all take MDMA, which is the Debs or something. I don't know what your video or your CCTV was. I'll have a look when I come off. I haven't looked at any of my tags today. They take MDMA, which is actually the Billy Home H. Yeah, I am. Miss Baguette's my only friend, actually. MDMA is the kind of chemical that's in ecstasy tablets, and it can be cool to take at a party, I suppose, but it's one of those drugs where, yeah, thanks, Jamie, you do not know what kind of impact it's going to have. Sometimes you're going to talk for Britain, sometimes you're going to chew your face off, sometimes you're going to go a bit nuts. Friends with Benz, Miss Baguette. I'm only joking, Debs, all the mods are my friends. So some of it's passed around. Nobody knows how much Ryan took, but they do know he was drinking that night, and they do know he took some MDMA. We also don't know if it was his first, second, third time of taking it. MDMA is not cocaine. MDMA is what is in ecstasy. Cocaine is completely separate, made completely different ways. I'm not an expert. Don't ask me how. Yeah, so it's the end of the night and they all decide to go home. You are, my friend. There is different kinds of MDMA as well, like there's crystallized MDMA, which will fuck you up. Mandy, yeah. Yeah, so they all go. Now, I want to show you a map to show you how far he had to go to get home, and he never made it, because it's literally crazy. Like, he gets lost in the middle of nowhere, but the distance he had to travel was hardly anything. So let me show you this map. So Burfield Road with the big red arrow is where he was coming from, and the small circle, the red arrow, the small circle in front of it was where he was going, and he never made it home. Pretty much pure. It's much more purer form of it, yeah. So we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about all of that, but I just want to show you quickly, speaking from shameful experience, all the MD experts are here. It is a short distance. I mean, it's literally, you can cut straight across the trees, and it's literally, you're there. And it's somewhere where he'd been living at this point for nearly 3 months. He knew the area quite well. It's Canada. It's pretty much just through the back thing. So near the end of the night, there were only 9 people left at the party, including Ryan. James was the first to decide to go home. And when he arrives back at the house, he goes straight to bed. Then Chris and Kristen decide they're ready to go home. And they see that Ryan begins to put on his jacket to go home with them and get ready to leave. Now, they exit the house and head straight home. And they figure Ryan will be shortly behind them. But they don't wait for him. They just think they'll see him when they get home. Why are you saying not Ella? Miss Baguette, just a warning. If you're going to kick off on any of the mods, don't go for Ella, because she'll rip your head off. So don't go for any of the other ones. If you want an easy fight. Not Ella. Is Colette in here? Because if Colette sees it, she's going to go fucking mad, and I'm not going to be able to cope. There'll be bread flying everywhere. Miss Baguette's being flung around by a bread roll. Go for one of the easier ones. She literally just goes, Ella. I'm like, no, not Ella. She's literally Miss Baguette's activated lunatic. She's about to find out about herself. My hello to Rainbow was corrected to Ella. I don't know why you'd call it Ella Rainbow. Colette's got her eyes out looking. Are you all right, Ash? Ella's about to marry her wife in just a couple of months, and Miss Baguette decides to call her a rainbow. She has lost her life. Colette, her wife-to-be, is in the room as well, making eyes. Miss Baguette's left. Waiting to listen to the story. Deborah, I'm allowed to have a little joke. We can go over to your page if you want to continue on yours, and you tell us the rest. I'm really joking, Miss Baguette. We know you didn't mean that. So it's really important to remember that people are drinking at this party, and people were intoxicated with MDMA. So when you're going back and you're asking them for statements and you're asking them about what times things happened, you're not going to get an exact science. You're going to get people who kind of half remember, don't really know it was nearly light outside. They're not going to know a lot. So they're just, from the very beginning, a lot like with Lucy, there was a lot of people that kind of started looking at his friends and like, well, how did you say it was this time? And she said it was this time. And how can all of this go on? Like, why don't you know? There was a lot of questions. Thank you, Angie. I called you Angel earlier, didn't I? Sorry, thank you, Angie. It flashed up really quickly. Now, the people have no idea that their memory of timing would become so essential later on. So a lot of them stayed at party and a lot of them went to sleep and a lot of them just didn't know what happened. Yeah, Canadian. But what we do know is that Ryan was last seen leaving this party wearing dark jeans, a grey-white shirt, a blue coat and a burgundy ball cap. On this evening, it's absolutely freezing outside and it's snowing on top of the 18 feet of snow piled on the side of the road. Thank you, Helen. It's still continuing to snow. This is a different case. It was the same case I've been doing for the last half an hour. And put him back up. Have I got an image of him from that night? I do. Yeah, so this is him that night at the silent disco they went to. Now, this is somewhat isolated resort on the edge of town, so the roads are more like paths and there are no street lights, it's pitch black. And the way to get home is an easy trek. It's really not too far in distance, but the elements and the snow and the fresh snow falling and kind of the powder snow make it quite difficult. Still, it's a path he'd taken many times before. He'd been to that house, 20, several times before. But drugs and alcohol could definitely have become a factor in this. We don't know his mood. We don't know how he's feeling at the time. However, we do know he would never make it home. Thank you, Boggy. And you can come into the Discord if you send one of the mods your a message. Now, later in the morning, Ryan doesn't show up for work as he normally does, which isn't a huge deal because Ryan would sometimes be late for his shift. He was known to be. And his friends did tell his boss, look, he was out at a party, 2018. He was drinking last night. He'll be in soon, but he's probably just sleeping it off. However, by 7 p.m. that evening, Ryan is still not at work. And so his manager texts his roommate, James, and said, where is Ryan? He's supposed to be here. He's missed a whole day. It's not like him. So James now gets concerned. Ryan doesn't just miss work and not come home. He would always text in, get James to phone and he would do something, but he's never, how are you on 2 lives? I'm only on 1 live. Where else am I live? Why are people coming in and going, is this still the same case? And are you still live? And why are you on the other live? Is someone pretending to be me on another live? It's really, someone cam 2 in me? Possibly. Why was someone cam 2? Oh, After Dark is on. Oh, maybe being impersonated. Yeah, so Ryan didn't just miss work, he didn't come in. So James decides to call the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP. One of you's enough. And he reports Ryan missing that day at 8:47 p.m. Now, Heather and Scott immediately pack up their bags, Ryan's parents, and they head straight to the area, which is 9.5 hours drive to Sun Peaks, to meet with the police about Ryan's disappearance. When they arrive, they are briefed by police. Ryan had been missing since around 2 a.m. on February the 16th, and the following morning there is a massive search of the area. Now, these do not mess up around. They literally Claire, is that you, my great niece? Carol, you found me after all this time. So the following morning there's a massive search, including canines. There is literally a search from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. consistently. There's dogs out. There is ATVs out. They are literally searching the whole area. And the initial searches focus on the area between the house party and the house he's living at, and it's extensively searched and there's no sign of Ryan. Nothing was found or picked up by the dogs at all. There is no scent of Ryan found, no footprints in the snow, none of his clothing, nothing of his. And unfortunately, due to the fact there is fresh snowfall, it is possible the dogs would have not picked up his scent. Night, Vanya. Now, after the first formal search, the RCMP was concluded. It was up to the search team of Ryan's family and friends. RCMP had said they had to halt the search until the temperatures changed and the snow melted away, and that's what they were going to wait for. And this was really hard for Ryan's family, who were like, you can't just leave him out there. If he's somehow out there and he's gone the wrong direction or he's got lost, like, we can't just wait till next summer for you to wait for it to thaw out. Like, that's months away. Like, you need to help us find our son. Different Claire Bear. Oh, okay, I thought you were talking to me. I've been waiting to be claimed for years by a Carol. It's like, Mummy? So his parents stay in Sun Peaks for 3 months to assist with the search every single day they're out. Now, they have to return home at some point because it becomes their daughter's birthday, and they leave behind in their wake a £15,000 reward for any information leading to his whereabouts. Now, still, after more than 6 years, they continue to return constantly to Sun Peaks to search for Ryan. Now, even though there's been 6 summers so far and the snow has melted away, there has been, thanks Lizzie, there has been no sign of Ryan ever found again. He is not in the area, he's not turned up on the slopes, he's not turned up when the snow's melted or when it's thawed. There has just never been another sign of him. JD, there was no sign of animal activity, and normally I know people think it, but though if there's animal attack, there's normally some signs left behind, blood in the snow, kind of drag marks. Even the next day when the police came out and took it very seriously, there was no animal footprints, there was none of his footprints. It was almost like he got into a vehicle right outside that house and was never seen again. Now, more than 300 tips did come in to the RCMP and Crime Stoppers that have been followed up on again. Now, one of these tips talked a lot about somebody driving, what did that say? Do you think Jason's lying? Really hope he is. I hope he is too. That someone was driving in the dark down the pathy kind of roads with no ice cream, and they've hit him, thank you Lizzie, with a car, and decided that they had to take him with them because they couldn't just leave him there. What is that? What is that emoji? So, in June of 2021, police conducted their first organised search for Ryan since 2018, and it was an extensive shoulder-to-shoulder search. They searched areas that had already been searched, and they uncovered some new areas as well. Unfortunately, nothing was ever found during that search, but it was a positive sign to his parents that at least people are still looking. They continue to search for Ryan and talk about their son in the hopes that someone one day will come forward and speak up. The parents are also quite concerned that maybe something happened at the party, but we'll never know. We'll never know because no one's ever come forward. The reason I bring up the dinosaurs, because his family actually made these dinosaurs, which they sell all over the world for $5, and then people leave them in places, and they have a poster with Ryan attached to them. You can buy them in the UK as well. There's a woman in Milton Keynes that sells them out for the family, so you don't have to pay extortionate postage. And, you know, so many of us have got kids that love dinosaurs and stuff, that, you know, even if you're just helping, and then the money from these dinosaurs goes to search efforts, which I think is lovely. His mum also wrote a book, which I think is really good. It's called Missing From Me, and it's by Heather Schuchter. It's a really actually good book. It's very sad, though. This is a family who will never give up. This is Ryan. This is the kind of area and kind of how it was that time of year, where it would be almost, how do I know him? I know him as a missing person. So this is kind of one of the ones they've got a website on Facebook where people buy them and just take them to really weird places and kind of show him, and, you know, it's gone viral because of that. And his story has got so much. His phone is, I don't think he took his phone with him that night, to be fair. And this was the last picture of him at the silent disco with his friend, his best friend. Right, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock. Right, let me have a look what's going on. Let me just see, because I think loads of people keep saying to me, I've sent you stuff, can you accept my message? Thank you, Kiki, for the potatoes. I don't, is that potato competition still going? Because I'm pretty sure that I thought it ended last night at 12, but all day it's been saying I've moved up to 5th place. So I can only think that 2 people got blocked, because I literally was at 7th place and I've done no work to be better until midnight. Oh, so the potato gifts are still working, but I'm really far away from 4 anyway, so there's nothing we can do. Missing people really upset me, because sometimes you get no outcome, none at all, and I just can't imagine never knowing. Oh, it's ×3. It's times free until it's times free gift points until 12. Let me have a look at this quickly. I'm just going to open my Insta. Thank you for all the potato gifts, guys. You're all amazing. There's no closure. Who said that? Was that my thingy? I thought I just saw Lady Jane, but I don't think I did. Oh, thank you, crazy lady. Thank you, Amy. Oh, it is times free for the next 52 minutes. You get scared about your kids, don't you? Because you just think, like, in this world, how can I keep them safe? Thank you guys so much. How can I keep them safe when there's like these things that happen every time they go anywhere? Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Rachel. I get it. But at the same time, like, it's our job as parents. Thanks, Amina. Thank you, Paul. It's our job, isn't it, to keep them safe and get them ready for the kind of next stages of life. And not to shut them off from the world and make them scared of their own shadows. So it's a really hard one. Thank you guys for all the things. I'm just going to accept these requests quickly. Oh, guys, you're amazing. Thank you. Stay on here. Yeah, but I get, then the people start going on at me about I've got gifts on and everything else, and I just literally, I'll get videos made about me tomorrow, and G Canadian, and G everyone else. Except, let me have a look. Oh yeah, someone has said about that. I want to just see it. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Jessie. Oh, we're moving up
Welcome
really
to this
quickly.
live broadcast. Looking at the case of, there's something behind here that I'd like to take a look at that I think would be of value. So what I'm going to do is show the screen.
So this guy is analysing her statement. Stay on, Hayley. Will you back me, Observer? Thank you, Kayla. Yeah, I think someone must have been bananaed in order for us to be moving up. That was in Discord. Yeah, Princess put that in, didn't she? Claire, thank you, guys. Thank you, me. My. Should I call you my, not me? He's really good. It's a bit long for us to watch on live together, though. It's 40 minutes. We will all back you. At this point, I don't really care what people say about me because people are saying things that aren't true all the time. And do you know what? I think in a way, like, obviously there's a lot of people that are using this case for gifts and stuff, right? And I have always been true to myself. I've always covered crime. This is what I do. Oh, thank you, guys. Who sent me that thing on the scooter? Why is it not coming up? Thank you, whoever sent me that on the scooter. It didn't come up and then it literally went really quickly when I wasn't looking. We need top 3. Do you know what I mean? I literally stay on then if you don't care, let them talk. That sounded really threatening, Stacey. Thank you guys so much. So what's happening with Jay? Let me just do a quick search to make sure nothing has happened in the time I've been live, because that's really important. Lucy Maylor's mum, Bex, is a member of the Tenerife Guided Hikes. No. Really? That's really interesting, isn't it? So let me just have a look. What am I going to look on? I'm going to Google his name quickly first anyway, just in case anything major's broken. So the first of all that we had this evening was that police had a phone call that led them to a certain area. And in that certain area, there is a little outbuilding in the middle of the mountains. And there are blue drums there that the police seem very focused on. That would really worry me. And it may be that just some of his stuff is in them, like, you know what I mean? But the fact they're saying that they have a phone call would lead you to believe maybe someone's left the island and say that's where you're going to find him. So that's really worrying me. I'll show you the area where they're searching. Why is it not going to let me do it again? Why do you hate me, TikTok? Oh, okay. I've got so many things saved here. So it's this area. And there's the police there. There was quite a few police there at one point, looking into the barrels. Guys, thank you for all the potato gifts. Honestly, thank you. They're ×3 of every potato gift to that competition that we're in at the moment, which obviously I have to do as part of an agency sometimes. So Energy Music Festival have actually put out a statement today as well, which we're going to have a look at. Where is your statement? So So it says, firstly, thank you everyone who came to Energy event in Tenerife last weekend. This, as you'll be aware, among the attendees was 19-year-old Jay Slater, who after leaving the event was reported missing in the north of the island Monday. We are grateful for the many thousands who have engaged with us, shared the appeal from our own and many other channels over the days since day one. Despite the widespread search coverage and hard work, the authorities and volunteers involved in the search at the time of posting, Jay has not yet been found. This is such a devastating situation has arisen and has deeply affected us all. We have been able to give some practical support to members of Jay's family who have come to Tenerife in such difficult circumstances, and we are inspired by their resilience and determination. Like them and you, we will continue to hope for Jay's safe return. The authorities in Tenerife can be contacted with any information that may be helpful on 062 or 112. And thank you for your support. Now, let's have a look. So there's another story saying 3 key areas in Jay's hunt, like, so basically in the search for Jay. I'm just going to very quickly look at that and see if it's a new one. So a member of the search, right, so okay, when is this from? Yeah, today. So a member of the search and rescue team has revealed the hunt for missing Jay Centre is focused on 3 very specific areas. The search conditions are challenging due to the mountainous terrain and extreme weather. And they are looking in 3 distinct areas of Park Rural Destino Nature Reserve near the Airbnb where Jay was last seen. So I just don't understand how we're on day 3 of the search and you're just looking around the Airbnb. Does that not seem really, really weird? To Ryan, I actually already donated £100 to Jay's fund, which was 4 times what I made that day. And I'm sure you've given absolutely nothing. You absolute bailout. Yeah, so this is kind of weird to me that they are literally now on day 7 starting to do things they should have done on day 2 at the very latest. You know, what you do in any kind of search operation, yeah, no matter what the kind of terrain's like, no matter what's going on, there is, you get the last pin on his phone and you do a search area of 5 miles. So a radius of 5 miles from that point, and you thoroughly search that area. Now, we know he went missing right near there, and yet they haven't searched it. So they should, Chloe, right now be on Searching the Sea, because all of these things should be ruled out. The public pressure, even on day 2, and the media attention was massive. So it's not even like they can say, like, we can think to ourselves, well, now it's got massive in the media, they're starting to do the things they should do. They haven't done these things, and they haven't cleared off these areas. They should have gone, first of all, to where the ping was and taken sniffer dogs and let the sniffer dog go from that point. And then if they couldn't pick up a scent there, they should have taken the sniffer dogs to the Airbnb and seen where Jay went from there. Thank you, Miss Baguette. Thank you, everyone, for the potato gifts. Honestly, thank you so much. So that to me is very strange. His friends definitely do have more information that we don't have. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about is some of the questions that I just cannot get my head around, and I cannot give you any kind of reason for why we're in this situation right now. So let me just go down to the bottom where I wrote my notes. So the number one question, obviously, we can't answer is, where is Jay? We don't know right now what information the police have. We can only guess, and things work very differently in Tenerife, so I couldn't even guess and tell you how exactly things work over there. It seems like they must have more information, and like someone just said then, there's a lot of corruption out there, so we wouldn't necessarily have those kind of information, but they must know more, because we're hearing so much. Why would I not do that again? I want to put this picture up. Now, this picture earlier on absolutely broke my heart, because where is it? This is what happens when you cover a case and you've got 9 million screenshots. Was it this picture? Let me try first. Let me click through them till I find it. This picture. Like, the absolute state of him here and how much he must have taken breaks my heart. And I just kept thinking, what if someone sent me a picture of Tegan in a nightclub like this? And yet we're supposed to believe that his friends just let him go into a car with strangers. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Now, when Kieran first came out, which is the boy that told us that he got into a car with 2 Moroccan men, a silver car, he actually said Brandon went with him. Now, we're only hearing Brandon's name today, but this is Brandon in the black with his back to us. Brandon follows Jay and Lucy on social media. They both follow him back. And Brandon's profile descriptions on Instagram let you know he plugs drugs and he sells them. So he literally is known for this. And he often has statuses back in the day saying, like, come at me if you need something. I imagine he's the kind of person giving you lists on Snapchat of what you can buy. But why has Brandon not been mentioned? Why is Brandon only just coming up today? But yet Brandon's in the picture of Jay where they're trying on hats in the shop. We just don't know why we are having things brought up now with Jay. And we know it is Jay because we have the other videos from earlier that night with Brandon stood watching him again. Now, if Brandon's his friend, why is he always stood there looking quite sober and quite calm? No, Brad looks completely different. Watching him get into a stage, it's because he's absolutely mashed. Like, honestly, it's exactly the same positioning of all the other videos. Another question I have is, why is Lucy telling people that she went home from that night at 8:30 when there is pictures of her still in that club until half midnight? Why did she make that point of, I was tired, I needed to sleep, I left early, when she didn't? She was still there. Now, I just want to say, the guy that came into my room earlier that I actually questioned on camera, he said he was the one that took that footage. I kind of believe why he took the footage. He was just in the club with his pals, they're Scottish. I don't believe what he is saying is not on that tape, because we have analysed that tape. We have literally taken away the sounds. There is definitely talk of a bag. There is definitely talk of, I want to go home. There is definitely talk of, we've lost the bag. There is something happening, and Lucy is also there speaking to Jay. She says Jay in the tape. So how are we expected to believe? And then we see her walk down the stairs later on in the video. So why are people saying that Jay wasn't with Lucy that night, and that guy there who came on earlier said, oh no, the only person that Jay was with that night was Brad, with Brad. Well, we know in the video that's Brandon, that's not Brad. So do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. I can try and play the tape, but it doesn't play very well over live. So Alfie, there was a video of Jay in the nightclub that somebody from Scotland had been in the club at Energy, had filmed it and kind of realised when he got home, oh my God, that's the missing boy. And when you listen to the actual audio, there is something going on in that video. But when the boy was in here earlier and he was like, by the way, I'm the one that made that video. So I'm like, can you come in the box so I can question you? In my normal detective way, can you come up and tell me? He said, no, not at all. That video was taken by me. There was no talk of bags, no talk of drugs, no talk of nothing. Literally, there was nothing like that. Play the tape, please. So it's just, I'm just seeing what my requests are quickly, and then I'm going to play it because it's in my Instagram. Oh God, I've got so many requests. People stop requesting me. I can play it, but I'm not sure you'll be able to hear it that well. And I can't play the actual video because I'll get bananaed on here, because you're not allowed to stream stuff on here, which is weird because some people are allowed to stream other TikTok videos. Let me get it. So, Jay was right in front of him. And most of the voices you can hear are Scottish, but then why not just say, oh, this is, he said, oh, I can tell you exactly what it says nothing about that. So when we actually analysed it, what we are hearing is a guy says, we'll get them after. A girl says, no, there's no point. They argue, and then the guy says, how am I going to get it back? Then someone says something that can't be heard, and then the guy says, it won't work. And then someone says, hand it over. And someone else says, I need to go home. And then someone shouts, Jay, what it sounds like to me. And that's someone who I fully trust, who's done this video. So I just need to make sure which one I'm playing. It is muffled. You can't hear much. You need like headphones. But I don't know if this one's better. What to you? Hang on. Why don't I turn it down? That's quite. I need headphones for that. Okay, I'll have a look at it. There is another video, a darker video, right? And when you slow it down and you really slow it down, you can see the boy in the black t-shirt, i.e. Brandon, handing Jay a white bag of some kind of powder. I don't care what anyone says, you can see it clearly, him handing something, and it looks like that's what Jay drops. So it seems to me like they're kind of saying, you've got to do this, like you've got to take it, get a taxi back. Like, because you can hear someone, he says, I want to go home, and he's like, we will get a taxi back. So it seems like for some reason, they want him to, and it's bigger than about a little bag of cocaine, like a gram. It seems to be like this big, the bag. And he's handed it. And I'm thinking, why would you hand a guy in that state something to look after or take somewhere? Like, do you know what I mean? And then Jay bends down, and it's either like he's putting it in his bag, he's doing something with it. And it just seems really, really off. And obviously I can't say for certain what that video says. You'll have to listen to it, and you'll have to listen to it in headphones. But it just, I don't know if this one's going to be better. I'm going to try and play it, but I don't know if it's going to be better than the one I've just played. I'm waiting for it to open. Where's the video? It was on one of the Facebook groups, but we've obviously taken it off there now because I didn't know if it's going to get taken down. I don't believe they check every single person going into a rave for drugs, because most of their money is made off people in there doing drugs. And there's a lot of times when the owners of the Energy Festival will be making money out of the drugs that are sold in their club. So I just can't believe that it couldn't be a possibility. But if you see a guy hands him something, and he grabs it like this, it's not his t-shirt. Why can I not do it? Yeah, I've literally, I've known bouncers who literally are basically overseeing everything and making sure everything go in. I've known girls that put it in Kinder eggs and put it up there. Snatch! You know, all kinds of things go on in these places. Ain't no bouncer looking up there. You know what I mean? You can get 50 or so 100 pills in one of them. And I'm not one of them girls, so don't even start. Yeah, in the Kinder egg things. Do you know what I mean? You're there waiting for your lucky surprise in the bathroom. You're like, oh no, it's okay. You do it. Do you know what I mean? We used to have this big sweaty girl in my hometown, and she'd put anything up there. Do you know what I mean? If you lost your kid, you look there first. Joking, sorry. Wait, she used to go out dressed like Little Bo Peep as well, with a tubing whip on her leg. She was too big to dance. She was lovely. I need to reconnect at some point. It wasn't just her sheep she'd lost. She lost her fucking marbles and a lot of her household items up her snatch. kettle, toaster, everything. I just don't see why it's not opening. Bedtime. What is this? Let's have a look what this article is, because that's not working in the video. The oven, fridge. So Jay Slater's family share new CCTV, this was at 8 o'clock tonight, that could hold clue, as Dad said disappearance doesn't make sense. But this was what makes me so mad. They have shared the same image that they told us it wasn't him. So why is it now that his dad's out there like, oh, this could be the thing that saves it for us? Because if you remember, like, this picture was the one that Birdie Apple actually made better for us so we could look it on live. It's this picture of him walking in the churchyard that the family already looked at and said, no, not him. Do you know what I mean? I lost my dog. What's her address? If it's an Alsatian, she's probably got it. Do you know what I mean? What did that just say? Hi, Hayley, can I message you and you reply? It depends what it is, Grace. If you're going to message me and like be really rude, I'm not going to go thank you. I try to message everyone, but with this Jay Slater case, it's impossible. I'm getting about 600 messages a day on top of doing the GoFundMe. I would 100% say that Jay's dad is devastated. I believe he is out there now that his passport has cleared because he knows something is off. And I believe that Jay's dad will work very separate to the rest of the family if they're sticking by Lucy, because he almost in his interview with the media yesterday, at the end of it, there was this really heartbreaking moment where he started doing like this with his arms, like he almost couldn't control his body functions, like he was just devastated looking at the mountains, thinking at the sheer vast size of him, like, I just want my boy back. And it was his first time I'd seen the brother, who's been there since Tuesday, up at the mountains. He'd obviously gone out with his dad, and his dad's been out all day today. His dad's been out searching, his dad's been out putting up flyers. And that to me is like what any parent would do in that situation, which is why a little bit with his mum, I didn't think badly of his mum, but I thought, you know more. You know more because you're not searching, because you know he's not out there. That's how it felt to me. Like, I spoke to my mum today, right, because obviously my mum knows what I do on TikTok. She doesn't follow me or anything, but my family are always interested in my views and stuff. So as soon as I walked into my mum, she sat in a little garden house in the garden. She goes, come over, tell me what's going on with that Jay. And I'm like telling her about the case. And so I said to her, Mum, what would you do if I was missing in Tenerife? She's a lot older than Jay's mum. You know what I mean? And my mum's like a little hobbit. She's about 3 foot. And I said, what would you do? And she's like, I would go out looking. And I said, but what if the mountains were really rough? She said, I didn't care. I'd still go look. She said, even if I risked my own life, I'd go out looking. And I said, what if they advised you that you couldn't go? She said, well, I'd just got the top and I'd wait on that wall watching and making sure they were doing their job searching. Like, she said, I'm not going to leave. They'd think she was a gnome, to be fair, my mum. But that, you know, she would literally go up there and stay at the wall and be like, if you're going to find my baby, I'm going to know first. She said, like, and on the days when it's like literally I couldn't, I'd be postering, I'd be out speaking to locals, I'd be going to the last place he was, I'd go to that little cafe, I'd ask to view CCTV. You know what I mean? And my mum's not someone who would know instantly what to do in a missing persons case. My mum would be absolutely devastated. She's got 6 kids. She's an absolutely amazing mum. And she'd just be devastated, but she would still be like, right, I'm going now. We're all going and we're going to be there until we find her. Yes, Mum, comment. So, you know, my mum's like age or anything would not let her be like, well, I'll just sit back at the hotel. And I said to my mum, like, the thing is, this Rach Harg, who's one of the group, her name's Rachel Hargreaves. She's actually been in trouble herself before for violent crime. She actually is in charge of all the social media. So it's not like Jay's mum's like, well, I'll stay at the hotel and I'll be in charge of social media and I'll make sure that, you know, everything's being done here. You go and search, Rach. You're a lot younger than me. She's got someone doing social media as well. So what are you doing? Like, that's how I kind of feel a little bit. Like, my mum said to me, one thing my mum said today, which I totally agree with. She said, I'd have to be doing something at all hours. I'd have to be doing something. And even if it was, I'm glad you'll find me. I'll be solving my own case, trust me. And there was rumours today that since her interview the other day and her new interview today, Jay's mum's had a full manicure. And my mum would have like bitten her nails to the quick. She'd have muddy nails while she was digging through mud looking for me. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what a lot of people are saying. And I don't get that. I couldn't sit down long enough for you to touch my hands. Do you know what I mean? I would literally, I just, you know, well, in one she's got no nails done, the next she has got, so it just, it is what it was. That to me is awkward. So now they're now bright orange. But you couldn't even say to me in 6 months, right, don't worry about one of your kids, go and get your nails done, sit down. I would be like, fuck off. You know, I did say it's a rumour. I don't know if it's true. Several people are saying it. So, yeah, I think it's odd, right, that they're now saying, so his dad is saying, this sighting could be the key to solving this case. Because as soon as this sighting was given to that social media group, which his family are in charge of and their friends, they actually said, nope, it's not Jay, we're ruling that one out. So why would you rule it out if there's a possibility? I said from the beginning, I said it's wearing grey shorts and t-shirt. You can see he's got his man bag on the front of him. Like literally it looks just like him. And they were like, no, his mum's looked at it. She said it's not him. So why now is it becoming a really vital part of the case? Because this came out on day 3. So now we're on day 7. So we could have literally done 4 days of work on this lead. And this photo was taken from the church, yeah, going across the churchyard. Now, the new sighting was 2 men with Jay near the churchyard sat on a bench with Jay looking worse for wear 10 hours after he disappeared. So this is all centered around there. We also had the man come forward, if you remember, who said, my 2 sons were over in Tenerife. They decided to join the search. They went to the church. They asked these 2 men in the church who spoke Spanish about, you know, do you live here? Do you know the area? The men were like, yeah, talking to them. Then the son said, do you know about Jay Slater? Did you see him? And the men said, we're not talking about that. We don't want to talk about that. Nope. And the guys were like, this is really weird. Like, why would they talk to us in general freely, but then not want to talk to us about Jay's case? And again, the man gave it to Rachel Haag to pass on to Jay's mum, and they blocked the man from the group. They deleted his post and blocked him from the group. So he took it to the other Jay groups and said, I've been blocked. I'm just trying to give him a lead. So why are they doing that? Like, he was hounded by the group and blocked, yeah. Like, that is, you're asking for leads, right? And the leads are being given to you, which very well could be Jay. Rach is Brad's mum. And is it possible, and I'm just saying, is it possible, this is, you know, just me asking, is it possible that Rach knows Brad is more involved, and any lead that comes in about Jay, she is not giving to Jay's mum, and she is just blocking these people off the group so they cannot get out this message? Because does she know, like I've always thought, that Brad or Brendan went with Jay? Because Jay can go back to his hotel with his buddies and party. He is not going to get in a car to an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere on his own with people he didn't know. He was there with his friends partying. He could have done a million different things. So why would he get into the car by himself with 2 strangers off his nut without anyone stopping him? Like, unless they went as well. Unless part of it is that Jay and Brad or Jay and Brandon went back to this place to rip these guys off. They got fucking caught and they fled. Brad went one way, Jay went another, and now they don't know where he fucking is. And she's protecting her son now. No, they're not the same boys. So I'll show you a picture with them both in, and they're very different looking guys. Brad Gio is quite young looking. He looks a little bit like Jay, but a little bit not. So Brad G is this end, and then Hodgie, which is Brandon, is this end. We don't know who that guy is in the middle. So this is Hodgie here, chunky guy, guy after my own heart, and Brad G here, which is Brad Gio, which is Jay's best friend. So they're definitely not the same people. Brad and Brandon. but they call Brandon Hodgie. Can you show the church pitch? What the I think I actually, give me a second because it will pause for a minute. Will I actually find the picture to put up on the screen of the church picture? Where was that interesting thing I found tonight as well? I found this quite interesting. This was a statement given by someone today to the Finding Jay Slater, Missing Jay Slater group on TikTok. Before I arrived in Tenerife, an Instagram page called Tenerife's Bits and Bobs requested to follow me and I accepted. I assumed they were dealers at the event and I've been to events like this before. When I arrived in Tenerife on the 13th of June, I messaged the Bits and Bobs about organising to meet to get drugs. They got my WhatsApp and messaged me from there. The WhatsApp name that was used was Trevor. I met with them around 11 to 12 on Thursday. The 13th of June, there was approximately 3 to 4 boys in the taxi. One of the boys got out and done the deal. The heavier fella, Hodgie, I am almost 100% certain that Jay was in the front of the taxi when I met Hodgie, and he got out and got in the back as I did a deal with Hodgie. Hodgie told me that he couldn't give me everything I asked for as the island was dried up at the time, and it was hard to get everything they needed, but he could sort it out for me the following day. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I would recommend getting Hodgie questioned if he hasn't been already. Possibly he has sent Jay to collect or drop off drugs for him and Jay and has been caught up in an awful situation. But this was put up today, but it was given a couple of days ago. So, what is this, a little version of the truth? Is this showing us kind of how it was working out there? Because no dealer would identify themselves. So he didn't say they identified themselves. He said the person that checked him back using the name Trevor, but he's sure now that he's seen the pictures that it was Hodgie that was there, who met him, an English bloke who was working with these guys. There was a car with 4 people in. Yeah, Tia, go for it. I think I don't believe all of them, but I believe there has to be some kind of element of truth in most things. We need to see the WhatsApp with Trevor, that would help, wouldn't it? Lucy is not innocent. Who is Hodgie? Hodgie is one of the friends that we only found out about 2 days ago. Today and yesterday we found out that Hodgie was even there. Until then, we had no idea. That we were told always from day one that Lucy, Brad and Jay had gone out together. But have you seen that Hodgie's Insta, his heading on his Insta is, "Oh well, shit happens." I don't know how long it's been like that for, but it just gave me a really bad taste in my mouth today. So I just thought, well, that's a bit weird. Do you think Jay's alive? No. I think we're on day 7 now. And the only way I believe Jay could still be alive is if Jay is part of what's happening, because no people in the world are going to survive 7 to nearly 8 days out in the mountains with no food or water. Jay would have been incapacitated, possibly unconscious by day 2 in that heat. He'd had a lot of drugs, which would have made him even more dehydrated. So he's possibly fallen somehow. If he was being held by somebody, this is so high profiled, they are no longer waiting around for ransom. They have fucked off, leaving him tied somewhere. They are not going to be waiting for the police to come and arrest them. This is so high profile that they can't just get rid of Jay now. It would be impossible to do. So now we are at a stage where this is a recovery mission. Now, there absolutely could be a way that somehow his friends actually do know who Lucy knows who we are, Hodgie knows who we are, so we have to kind of keep him alive. And they are possibly in contact with Lucy and Hodgie saying, like, we need to end this. We need to end it now. I imagine that if Lucy's involved in this as we think that she is also getting threatened right now. Because if Lucy goes missing or dies, I would not be surprised. Because when you're keeping it, and I don't mean that horribly, like obviously it would be the worst thing, she's a really young girl. But for some reason, she has this information that she's not taking to the police and she's not giving to Jay's family. So she's putting Jay in this further risk. And the people who have Jay would know that Lucy has that information. So she's got to be in a situation where people are this high up in drugs, etc., do not want a loose end. They are not going to wait for pressures put on her that someone comes to her and says, we need to know the truth now, we need to do this, we need to do that. They are going to know that she is very much at risk. She can think all she likes, like, you know what, I've said nothing, I'm not going to say nothing, like, I'm hardcore, I'm in the drug game. She's still like a 19-year-old kid, and 19-year-old kids are very easy to make squeal, and people aren't going to want this to come back on them in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, so they're going to want to get rid of her. So the best thing she can kind of do is come forward and get some kind of protection right now. She opens her mouth telling all the truth, will sing it up. Yeah, she if she keeps the people are still not going to trust her. So if she doesn't say anything, she's just going to be in further danger. Why would anyone take Jay? I believe if someone has taken Jay, it's because he tried to rob them in that Airbnb and they caught him, or there was some kind of drug transaction that went wrong. Is she pregnant? I think that's a rumour. Degree in yapping. Your mum. No followers on a fake account. I know who you are. You're an idiot. Get a grip. I was expecting you tonight. We don't know even where Lucy is. We haven't heard from Lucy. The last rumour we heard about Lucy that she'd been arrested. And I wouldn't be surprised if she had been arrested, because she's changed her timeline so many times. The police should arrest her for that alone. She's given false information in a criminal case. So they should have arrested her by now. Do we know for a fact Lucy's back here? She should definitely be arrested, because she gave a timeline of 8 o'clock, 8:15, then 8:50, and then all of a sudden she's come out and went, no, Jay didn't even phone me, I phoned Jay at 8:44. So it can't be all of those things. And she told this big elaborate story about how she's posted on TikTok, how she left the club at 8:30 that night because she was so tired. And the next morning she was woken up by Jay saying, I'm lost, I'm thirsty. But then we find out actually she's phoned him at 8:44. So she must have known something had gone wrong, been waiting for a call, waiting for Jay to come back in order to phone him and go, where are you? In my opinion. We have no idea where Brad and Brandon have gone. Like, Brandon's mum has deleted anything with Brad's name in. Brad's mum has deleted anything with Brad's name in. He actually put out a post the other day, Brad, just saying, look, anyone who thinks I've got anything to do with my best mate's death, you're freaks, kind of thing. Lucy commented saying, oh, Brad, everyone knows we've got nothing to do with it. And everyone underneath was like, no one expects you, Brad. We all suspect Lucy. And then the post went down. If you are telling the truth, you just have one version of the truth. One thing, the actual true timeline. You have it on your phone. You know exactly. We have video of her in the club till 12:30. So she obviously lied. I also think it's weird that he confirmed death. Why is everyone saying that? What? When did I say best mate's death? Oh, yeah. He said, he might have said disappearance, sorry. I don't know if he said death. I might have said death. I think he said, if anyone thinks I've got anything to do with what happened to Jay, maybe. Sorry. You were like, I was like, he's dead. I think it's really weird because Jay left the club at 6 o'clock, right, in the morning. He got back to that place. It was a 45-minute drive away. So he got back at the very least at 7:15. At 8 o'clock, he flees that house. Why are you going 45 minutes out of town to a house party and staying for a little bit over an hour? Why are you then leaving so quickly? To me, something happened at that house and Jay had to leave. I don't believe he was there by himself. I don't believe it was just Jay and one other guy. the two guys. I think someone would have gone with him. I don't know whether it was Brad or Brandon. I'm more suspicious of Brandon, to be fair, because they were together all night in that club and I didn't see Brad anywhere. I almost feel like Brad is a little bit more innocent in this friendship group because he's never been around all these things. And all of a sudden, we have Jay, who apparently is at this Airbnb by himself with strangers. He's gone 45 minutes out of town. He even pauses long enough to be outside smoking a cigarette, even though apparently he only vaped. And in that picture, he's wearing black boots, even though he had white trainers on. So he's actually borrowed their shoes for a second. And then he kind of flees from there. And instead of going straight to the bus stop, which is within eyesight, he decides to run into the mountains. So why is he doing that? Can we see the photo? What photo? I think the police know a lot more than we think they do. Yeah, he wanted to go home. And I think if he was there, he had been sent there. Like, maybe, like, he had this package and Brandon had sent him there, or Lucy, because Jay had done a lot of drugs, probably hadn't paid for them, and they're like, so you've got to take this. The only way of making back our money is if you take this out to the place. And the holiday makers, the two guys, have probably said, well, if you come back to our Airbnb, we've got all the cash there, we'll give you the cash. And they've got there to do just a simple transaction. It's not a party, which is why it's so quick, and something has gone wrong. Like, they've tried to rob him, they've refused to give him money, there's been some kind of scuffle, he's lost the package, he's given them the wrong thing. Whatever it is has caused him to flee very quickly. And he didn't stick to the path, the clear path that would have marked you back to town. He hasn't gone to the bus stop and gone on a bus. He's gone right up into the Fortuna. I am a detective, and thank you for noticing. Another Karen. Yeah, he's gone straight off the main path. Like, anyone knows, he asked about the bus, yeah? She says, right? She says he did. She said that on day 4. Where were you on day 1, 2 and 3 when it was all over the media? Have you been told to say that? Again, another interview where, like, oh, you didn't film me from the back, and I'm going to talk about, I saw this guy twice, and then someone I knew saw him a bit later on running that way. I drove past him in the car, he was going the wrong way, but I didn't stop to say anything. I don't believe her. The videos are all over the J groups on, like, I found it on the J theory group, I think it is, a discussion group. Like, I don't believe he stopped to ask her, right, for a bus, and she's gone, there's going to be a bus in about an hour. And he's looked at his maps and gone, I'll wait here for an hour for the bus, or I can walk in the intense heat for 11 hours. I'll walk. Yeah, I'll walk instead. To me, that's madness. For anyone, especially when you're wrecked and you're in the fucking daylight and you just want to go back to your hotel, you ain't gonna go, oh, just take this walk. Absolutely not. He had to go quickly. People are saying Lucy's left, but I don't know. Why didn't he get into her cat? I love it when spell check goes wrong. I don't know Adele. I don't even know if she had a cat. I don't know. Something happened, honestly. He was led into a trap. He literally, maybe these were guys who were quite dangerous and, like, his friends knew that and they just thought they'd send Jay. They definitely sent him into a really bad situation. Yeah, but there's feeling like you can walk for miles, and there's being in a strange country and being told you got 12 hours to walk. I don't see it. Not when you didn't have that long to wait for a bus. Who's sending me photos? Tag you on TikTok. I can't look at the TikTok while I'm live though. Who sent that? I don't know who's at the picture, but we're hearing it over and over again that Jade vaped, not smoked, and he's wearing some kind of blanket with shoes that he didn't even have. I can't see those pictures because it's saying unsupported. I need to sort out my Instagram settings, I think. What's that? Let me have a look. What time was this done? 6 o'clock this afternoon. Missing Jay Slater spotted staggering back to his feet by clubbers in new video at Tenerife. This one's got loads of light on as well, so it's really clear to see. We don't know if he checked his maps. We don't even know. We don't know 100% that Jay ever went to that Airbnb. We don't even know if Jay was the one that put his phone where it last pinged. We don't know. I always think in these investigations, when you're told a lie, that you have to question everything that has been told to you. That's definitely him in the picture. We don't know he went to the Airbnb. We don't know if he went on his own. We don't know what he said during those last calls. Yesterday we heard, actually he had a video chat with Brad at 8:31. We never heard about that before, and you're not putting that on the paper as part of the timeline when you desperately want to find him. So why was that omitted? Why is so much stuff being omitted that is to do with Brad, that's to do with Brandon, that these sightings, all of a sudden they're saying definitely isn't Jay, and then tonight his father's saying this is a vital piece of the information. How is it possible 1% battery? I don't think they went straight from the club. He was seen like outside the club around 6 a.m. getting into a car. So you know what it's like when you come out of a club, like you're literally talking everyone's ear off, everyone's talking, you're still high off being in the club. There may be other places open selling drink, we just don't know. But it was believed he got into the car about 6. That's what I said before. Why not phone you if he was just leaving like that house and he has not pissed off the guys in the house, he's not running. Just down from the road, like a couple of steps, was that cafe that had a name on the door. It wasn't open for 2 hours, but why not phone an Uber or a taxi with that percentage of your battery and ask them to pick you up? Why phone all these friends who literally are not helping? Why not? An Uber even can track your location. So why not do that? One of the main questions I have in the Jay Slater case that I cannot answer by myself is why he chose to walk, why he chose to leave. And if he saw this woman who, like you said, was in a car just afterwards, really, Warrior, why not ask her for a ride? Why didn't she offer him one? Why not something rather than just decide to run into the mountains? I just cannot understand why he didn't make any travel plans or wait for the bus. It was right there. Right. Yeah, my mod's just going to come in the box there because it does sort out the signal a little bit. That bus stop, yeah. Right, so if you go to that bus stop, you know you've got an hour left, yeah, and you've been partying all night with these guys, you're going to go knock on the Airbnb and go, mate, do you mind if I stay for another hour because the bus is coming soon? If there's no problems, you're just going to do that. Why are you going to literally, your options are wait for a bus at a bus stop where these men can still see you or go into the mountains. And he chose to go into the mountains. There is something there. Like, you know, I cannot understand, you know, why not go and knock on the Airbnb door and be like, can I charge my phone for half an hour? Why not go knock on the Airbnb door and go, mate, you've just given me a lift. Do you mind giving me a lift back into town? I'm absolutely stuck. I'm 12 hours away. Please, I'll pay you money. Why not? Why just choose to literally go into the mountain area? I don't get it. I honestly think that maybe Jay's phone was placed there in the mountains, and something happened in that house. We don't even know who the two guys are. We know one goes by the name Johnny Vegas, and that's all we know. And it's not the Johnny Vegas, I don't think. I can't imagine him out partying and not being recognised. Let me just see. So, and also, you know where Jay's phone last pinged? It was actually several hundred feet above the small village of Masca. He had walked uphill 100 and something feet. That's so hard to do on these hiking trails. He literally went up high. Like, was he looking out for something? Was he like trying to see over the area? Was he just confused? Was he just literally pegging it and literally just trying to get away. He looks a bit like Johnny Vegas, doesn't he?
Can I just say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
There is 4,600 people in here, and there is people just messaging the same thing over and over and over again. Like, please stop spamming or you will be muted. If you've instant messaged Hayley, she'll open it when she gets round to it. Like, there's a lot of people in this live. Just please.
There is definitely a lot of unanswered questions, but I can't. Oh, thank you, Gracie. There is just something we can't. There is too many unanswered questions. There really is. Just want to see what this is. Oh, thank you, Gracie. Maybe hallucinating. Maybe I said before, it doesn't mean that there was a real sense of danger because he perceived one. We all know what it's like to be in that situation, no matter what you've taken, drunk, whatever, where you just feel like it's not safe here. It's quite easy to see that. So it absolutely could be a case of he thought something was going on. But there was definitely, he left that area in panic and ran straight into a dangerous area, into the mountains, rather than sticking to a clearly marked road where he would see a bus, see cars going past, more likely to see businesses and stuff. He literally went off the other way. The rat could be... sorry, I'm just getting messages. I'm just seeing in the screenshot of the pin. I missed it now. In the screen, because he took it out, you can see battery percentage at the top. Yeah, well, he's not normally on Snapchat. If you've got the latest Snapchat, which most young kids have, if you're under 10% battery, you have that the battery sign underneath your pin, like on where you stood on the map. He didn't have that. Do you know who Pippa is on Insta? Pippa is a boy. Pippa, I think they've tied him back to a boy account. He's a guy who's just trying to cause trouble. I think when we did a trace on him, he comes back to the Scottish area, and I think they are sharing very alarming things to cause panic, and they should be definitely arrested for what they're doing in Jay's case. They've shared pictures of that man that was terribly beaten up, covered in blood, and that actually traced back to a case from 2014 from Iceland, not Iceland, Russia, sorry, where a child offender had been badly beaten up to make an example of them. And she shared that saying it was Jay. Then she shared a picture of someone in handcuffs. She's blamed Sam Walker for kidnapping him. She's also blamed Ashley Kane for taking him. It's mental. You know, Sam Walker's out in Africa trying to build wells, and he's nowhere near the area. Have you got some? He does trace to Scotland. It's not really, but some of the stuff they've said is really, really sick. You know, they're saying, oh, sorry, Lucy, you killed Jay now, 6 down to 5, 7 down to 6, like, oh, you knew the outcome. It's really, really worrying that whoever it is doing that is sick. Sam Walker, exactly. A guy out there just trying to live his life, avoid the police, and you're accusing him of a kidnapping where he's not even in the area. I'd like for them to come face to face with Sam Walker when they're telling him they think he's kidnapped Jay, because I wouldn't like to be there. There's a video of him in Tenerife at the port. Who, KJ? What Sam Walker? Has he got a massive duffel bag with him or something where he could have Jay? I can't see your message, Joy, because they're coming through as unsupported. They need to be more of like a screenshot than an actual upload, I think. It's just my Instagram. I need to change the settings, but I don't know how to do it while I'm live. I know, Tone, she did. It was literally a mad... Where's the bag? I don't think you'll ever be able to hear them unless you've got headphones and you're listening. He does say he wants to go home. I've also seen a video of... I also seen the video of Sam Walker at the dock on a boat, I think. I'm pretty sure that Sam Walker has not got any reason to kidnap Jay. I think, you know, literally tying someone in because they've been in Tenerife, and I'm sure a lot of people actually holiday in Tenerife. What is that? Mm-hmm. Who's half-assed hippie mummy?
TikTok shop. What kind of sick makes t-shirts like this?
Just on a stitch on me.
Why?
Megan, did I just not say there is no possibility that Sam Walker is involved in this? Sam Walker is out trying to fix Africa. He's a good guy. He's actually doing a lot of good stuff. At no point did I say there would be any connection to Sam Walker. So... Do I believe Jay's alive? I hope Jay's alive. Do I believe he is? No. Just there isn't a lot of reason for me to believe that he could be alive unless he absolutely is part of it, because then he's like fed and watered and everything else. I just can't believe that that we'll see another outcome. Yeah, that worked. Yeah. Can someone just send me the picture quickly, just because I've got it on my phone, but I don't want to bring it up because it's got a cigarette in it, of Jay smoking near the door of the thing quickly, so I can compare it to that photo I've just got sent. Joy, if you've got it, if you can send it, I can just see them next to each other. If restrictions went on, I could say, Gareth, literally, the restrictions on the comment section of here are actually driving me mad at the moment. Thank you. So where are we comparing that watch to, if you don't mind me asking? Because I can't obviously see a watch in that photo. I can see very similar boots though. I definitely think it has connections to drugs. I literally, most of my live comments in other people's lives, the comments don't go through. I'm obviously, as you can tell, I'm really funny, and they don't really like me making jokes. So Hodgie has changed his profile picture to be a picture of the mountains, which just seems odd. And his Instagram he changed to "Well, shit happens," which is just bizarre. It could be we've got 430. Oh yeah, maybe it's his account, maybe it's not. It could be an OD. It could be an OD. There's definite choices here where it could be, but not a lot of them anymore have a possibility that Jay will come back alive. Now, I might be completely wrong, and it may be that Jay has been kept alive for some reason. If it is a case of that, then we're dealing with very low-level idiots. Because if they think at some point they're going to bring Jay back, present him and get money, and they're not going to be somehow completely caught because of the high profileness of this case and the fact everybody knows what Jay looks like, they're very, very, very wrong. It's, yeah, we did just see that video. The epic people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's nothing to do with them. What about Uber? Do they have Uber? Thanks, Kaz, for your message. Do they have Uber in Tenerife or not? I don't really know because I've never used Uber for a ride before. I tend to use. I don't know what we're comparing it to though. In the Google Maps image, this man is seen with clear access to the same vehicle. Okay, I get it now. They don't. Okay. So they actually very much look like that shoe. It does really, to be fair. Yeah. People keep saying he's underground somewhere. He definitely could be in a cave or a mountain. But you've got to think in those situations, right? If you've taken someone either to punish them, they're probably not gonna end up alive right now. And if you've kept them because somehow you think you're gonna get a ransom from a random boy you meet in an energy festival, I don't get that. I don't get, if someone is thinking to themselves, I'm going to kidnap someone for a ransom, they're going to take a child. They're not going to take a 19-year-old boy who you don't know what kind of relationship he has with parents. You don't know what kind of money they've got. You don't know if you're ever going to get your money. So unless they've actually taken him because they want to kill him, I don't see them just keeping him for a ransom. And if you're going to ask for a ransom, you're not going to ask for 30k. You're going to ask for 200k. You're going to ask for 250k. The only thing I can think if he's still alive is he's in hiding himself. Fiona, how are you? Everyone was asking me about Noah's case a little while ago. Can you cover that case? Can you cover that case? I told him to go and watch your interview with James English, which is amazing. Let me just see who's messaging me now. There's definitely the rumour where they are saying that he could have taken Rolex, but it is just a rumour. We don't have any other reason that we know it's true. There's definitely something. That Pippa account that people keep sending me messages about, she has not anything to do with this case, I can promise you. They got rid of? Maybe he blocked you. I don't know. Maybe he's taken it down. Okay. That Pippa is not right. She's somebody, probably a boy, I think, from Scotland, and they are using this to build a following on Instagram, and they're saying the most sickest things about a boy that's missing. That I have to say, if you follow that Pippa account, then you're part of the problem. And I really have to say that because the things that she's trying to get information to his mum and certain pictures that she knows aren't Jay, it's absolutely horrible. So what I wanted to discuss, I'm not going to accept too many message requests now because it just, obviously everyone's waiting for me on live and I can quite easily do it later. One of the things I found really interesting is Mark William Thomas, which is one of the main investigators in the UK. Very, very popular, solved lots of cases. Oh, thank you, Fiona. Mark William Thomas, he has offered to go to Tenerife to work on this case for Jay's parents. And I am really waiting to see what they say, because if you're desperate for information, you don't have any information and you need stuff to be uncovered, you're exactly going to accept his help. Now, he's made a promise today. He said, bring me over to Tenerife, give me the permission to come over, and I'll solve this case for you. I'll let you know what happened in 3 days. He will do it for free. He's done some really vital work on some really big cases. He's solved some big cases. He knows what he's doing. He's got years in this work. He was a massive work on the Madeleine McCann case. I know she didn't get found, but Mark was the one that went over there within about 12 hours of Madeleine going missing, and he was like going mental, flew over the village in a helicopter, and he's like, why are the airports not closed down? Why are the ports not closed down? Why is there not a picture of Madeleine at the port so they're checking cars going out? Like, she's probably gone from this island by now. What have you done? He pointed out all the things that should have been done. Let me just try and get his article up from today. He is someone, if my child was missing and he offered to come over for free, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. What was his name? Mark Williams Thomas. You might recognise him off TV programmes and stuff. He's been in a lot of programmes. This is him. A lot of news programs, always asked to kind of give comments on stuff. He is on TV shows like the one called The Investigator, British Crime Story. He's an investigative journalist, a sexual abuse victims advocate, and former police officer. And he is a guy who absolutely you would want in your ring. So an experienced investigator and former police officer said he could get Jay Slater's family answers in 3 days, as he's offered to fly to Tenerife urgently. TV investigator and author Mark Williams Thomas announced that he has reached out to Jay's mum, Debbie Duncan, to get answers to what happened to her son. Jay from Lancashire has fought to have phoned his friend Lucy to say he was lost in a rural area. Now, if the family have more information than what we know, if Lucy is somehow involved, they are going to fight tooth and nail to tell him no. What's going on? I look like Burns off of Simpsons with like three hairs combed over. They're going to say no. Now, if they say no to him, there is something going on. Because you've got this guy who you only have to Google to find out all these amazing things he's done. And if you're saying you don't want him out there, there's a problem. I've got some weird people trying to get in the box, including Lord Farquhar. I don't know if he wants me to be his Shrek. Here's Fiona. Yeah, so we will see what happens with that. It is 12 past midnight, so I'm going to go and get some sleep. I've got my little one's going on a school trip tomorrow for year 6, and we've got to be there early. And I will come on in the morning if there's any updates and there's stuff to talk about. But if there isn't, I'm not going to, because I'm not covering this case just like everyone else, just because everyone's in the room and it gets 4.2k people, even though it's midnight. I will only cover it if there's real breaks in the case to talk about. And I'm hoping tomorrow's going to be a big day, because there was so much searching done today. They're finally doing stuff. They're finally looking properly, and they're finally having dogs out. They finally got investigators out. So hopefully tomorrow's going to bring some news. And that's all we can do. We can just pray. We can just pray that they're going to find Jay and he's alive. We have to at least hold out a little bit of hope. I always say in these cases, even like Madeline, like, she's alive until we find information that she's not. Because it quite simply is always a possibility. I've seen kids brought home after 30 years. So at the end of the day, we just have to kind of keep it basic and hope. Thank you everyone for tonight. Thank you for the heart puffs. Thank you for everybody who has subbed tonight. I know loads of you have. If you message one of my mods or myself, oh no, you can't message myself on here. If you message one of the mods, you'll get the Discord code. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being so respectful tonight, guys, and thank you everyone who's coming here and just, been part of the conversation rather than being really mean. I've got a video up for Dylan, so if anyone wants to go and share the video for Dylan, it's had hardly any kind of media attention in that case. Thank you for the follows, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Night, guys. No. Yes.
The Observer, providing you with the latest TikTok drama from across the UK.